Om Shanti, and a very good morning to all. Today we are going to continue with yesterday's Murli, and due to some network issues, I believe we left it somewhere in between. So we'll continue with that. The title of the Murli is One Who is Constantly Wedded, that is Suhagan, is always completely full. Sampan. The date of the Murli, 23rd January 1979. Baba was yesterday talking about the fortune and the suhag, right? Baba was emphasizing on these two things. So yesterday, while talking about the fortune, Baba was mentioning about a fortune of health, wealth, the mind, the relationships and connections. So we'll continue. Baba says, because of this, because of having a connection for service, you have benevolent feelings for the world and pure wishes for world transformation. Because of this, there are no waves of sorrow in your connections with others for service. Whether they defame you or whether they sing your praise, they are your friends. You constantly have the vision of brotherhood and a merciful attitude, and so your connections are elevated. You have received such an elevated fortune from the bestower of fortune. So you are constantly those with the most elevated fortune. Today, Baba was seeing the suhag and fortune of all the children. Do you souls experience yourself to be completely full with nothing lacking in your Brahman life? Are your tilak of companionship and your star of fortune constantly sparkling? What is the percentage of the sparkle? All of you have a sparkle, but it is number-wise according to the percentage. What number do those from abroad have? You have a number in the rosary of victory, do you not? Whether you are from this land or from abroad, there is only the one rosary of victory. Those who constantly claim a right to this companionship and fortune claim the right to become part of the rosary of victory. There is a direct connection between the rosary of victory and the part that we play now. The companionship that we hold or the fortune that we have, it has a direct connection with the rosary of victory. Bap Dada is specially concerned for only you children, and he therefore constantly turns the beads of the rosary of you children. All souls turn the beads of rosary of the Father, but God turns the beads of the rosary of you children. भगवान हम बच्चों के नाम की माला जपते हैं, right? It was also in the Sakar Murli a few days back, right, where Baba mentioned that Baba भी कैसे बच्चों को याद करता है. he mentioned clearly that how the remembrance pulls him also towards the children, and towards which children. Now, what quality of souls are able to attract Baba's remembrance? So it should be like we souls should also be the ones who are able to attract or to catch Baba's touchings, Baba's remembrance. And we'll take the yatra towards the end. Baba is now meeting dadis and other groups. So he speaks about the attainments that we souls should experience. And Baba, in a very subtle way, mentions about the tasks that we as Brahmins are to play, the kartavya that we have in Brahman life. That too through mansa, vacha, and karmana. Okay. So Baba earlier speaks about companionship. Now he will speak about attainments. Further, Baba adds, like he says that just like the father, your children have to be similar to him. You have to follow father. And towards the end, Baba says that there should be one faith, one support, underlining that you souls are to remain in the supersensuous joy, in the swing of supersensuous joy. And also Baba very beautifully explains and speaks about the quality of souls who are very close to the Father. Okay? So we'll continue with this. Baba says, in what way are those who always have their companion remembered in the scriptures? Those who always have their companion are praised as queens of Krishna, that is, Patrani. However, the queens are number-wise. Some have the constant company of Krishna, where others are only with him sometimes. They have made up a story of bodily beings, but in fact, it is the story of souls and the Supreme Soul. Right? In a lot of scriptures, they have already mentioned about Krishna and the number of queens that he has. But as we all know, that it is only the story of us and Baba, right? The souls and the Supreme Soul. And it is not about Krishna and the other queens. So Baba says, no matter how many invoke him, the one Supreme Soul is able to celebrate a meeting with everyone. All become queens, but you are number-wise. Just as Baba says that some souls are always in his constant company, but some are there only for some time, right? So we need to check to what extent am I playing the part of being close to him, of being a queen, very close to Baba. There is a difference in your attainment and also in your form of worship, right? There is a difference between the attainment of Radhe and the attainment of the gopis. Radhe has her own attainment and the gopis have their own attainments. Radhe has some specialities in her own part, and the queens and gopis have some specialities in their parts. This too is a very deep secret. Of course, no doubt that Radhe, it is Mama, she has her own part in this drama, right? And all the other souls, like Baba calls them as gopis, and they all have their unique part as well. Okay. That is why Baba keeps on underlining that we are all number-wise. No? And so will be the difference between the attainments and in the form of worship also. Some souls will be praised with a lot of faith. That there will be like bhakti in a very, very different form. They will be praised, they will be worshipped in very higher forms, while others will be not. Okay. Just as we see now also practically, there are a few temples where there is bhakti, or we can say that where there is rituals and worshipping carried out in a very royal, in a very graceful form. But then there are also few temples where there is just normal carrying out of activities, right? It's not too vast. So why is there difference? Because of the attainments that the souls are taking now, right? According to the path. So Baba says this too is a very deep secret. Who are able to celebrate a meeting? The experience of total happiness is through this godly path. This is the most special fortune. This is also connected with the special part of souls. First of all, Baba says that total happiness, the experience of total happiness is through this godly path. Okay. If we are able now to experience Baba's company, to experience Baba's love, okay, if we are experiencing it in a true form, then Baba says that this is also the most special fortune. Okay, but then still underlining that we are number-wise, and so he says that this is also connected with the special part of souls, right? Just an example to give is the other souls won't be able to match Brahma Baba's part or Mama's part, right? Because they have a unique part as well, a totally unique one, right? Further, Baba says, at the confluence age, you specially have to check whether you have attained everything. Put all your treasures, all your relationships, all your virtues, and your task in front of you. Have you become experienced in everything? What all is Baba underlining? The treasures, the relationships, the virtues, and the tasks. Brahman Kartavya. And he says, have you become experienced in everything? In terms of tasks, are you experienced through your thoughts, words, and deeds? That is in all relationships and connections. So first of all, maybe towards the end, while discussing, we can take this as a point. What do I believe are my tasks? Is my kartavya, being a Brahman, in all three formats: thoughts, words, and deeds. Right? Maybe we can discuss this towards the end. Baba says, if you lack experience in any of these, you should make yourself complete in that experience, because you will not be able to have the experience of this confluence age at any other time. Therefore, in the short time that now remains, you should make yourself full in all aspects. Such checking should definitely take place. If you lack the experience of even one relationship or virtue, you cannot reach the perfect stage or be called an image of perfection. That's so obvious, right? If we are lacking virtues, if we are not able to experience even a single relationship, then Baba says you won't reach the perfect stage, or you won't be able to be called an image of perfection. How could you be called a complete embodiment if you haven't experienced all of the Father's virtues or virtues of your original form? See, at times we can check now also that if we are to become deities, to what extent do I feel, I, the soul, I personally feel that this is my original form, or this is the one I am. To what extent am I able to experience this now? That will also decide our future form, right? So Baba is asking, how could you be called a complete embodiment if you have not experienced all of the Father's virtues or virtues of your original form? Therefore, you have time to become full in all aspects. Father Brahma became complete, and so you children have to follow the Father. You constantly have this aim, do you not? You have received the blessing of becoming equal to the Father, have you not? To become an instrument means to receive the blessing of becoming equal now and also in different paths for many births. That's so true that we will never be able to become like Brahma because there will only be one Brahma, right? But then still Baba says, in terms of following, you have to follow the Father, become equal to the Father. That means we can try, okay? So not only now, Baba says, but also in different parts, like in different births that we take, somewhere to some extent, we will be close to Him, right? And if we experience this now, that I, somewhere in the entire cycle, was there with Brahma Baba, then how should be my sanskars? How am I to conduct my path then, right? Baba says the blessing of becoming equal now continues throughout the cycle. It continues throughout the confluence age. At the time when you are worthy of being worshipped and also when you are worshippers. See, this is what we call as fortune, right? If we are able to experience it now, then Baba says this will continue throughout the cycle. Even when we are being worshipped and also when you are worshippers, Baba says, in the entire part. Okay. So you special souls have the special blessing of becoming equal. Very few receive this blessing. This is very true, right? Very few are going to receive this blessing of being very close to the Father in the entire cycle. Probably 8 or 108, as Baba says, right? 8, yeah, 108. That too will be number wise. Further, Baba's meeting groups to finish all the different dictates means to hoist the flag of revelation. Those who follow the different dictates of many others should accept one thing, that the Father of all of us is one, and that he is carrying out this task. Like in the world today, we have a lot of people coming up with different opinions, different views, right? So Baba says you have to now take them to only one thought, to only bring them to only one acceptance, that the Father of all of us is one and that he is carrying out this task. Baba says, at least the sound that all of us are the children of the one Father and that he alone is the right one should reach everyone. There should only be one voice, right? Not too many. So whether they imbibe this or not, they should at least accept it. To follow this is a matter that will come later. But when souls come into contact with you, they believe that you are doing good work. And if they accept even this much, the flag of victory will then be hoisted. Baba says, forget about people following and coming into this knowledge, but bring them to a stage of acceptance that yes, you are doing a good work and this is the work of the Almighty, the one Father. So this is a good point that we can take for service, right? The point for service. Baba says if they go to the land of liberation with just this thought, that would also be good. If they go to the land of liberation with this belief and then come down to play their parts, the first sanskar that would emerge would be that the God is one. So Baba says, at least bring them to this stage, at least bring them to this acceptance, right? That God is one. Even if they don't follow the knowledge, that's fine. But at least they are going to go with this one thought, and so they will come down with this one thought, right? So this is the awareness of the golden age. To be trapped in many is the iron age. Speak with authority and truth, not with hesitation. Baba now says that speak with authority and truth, not with hesitation. Truth is the basis of revelation. In order to bring about revelation, first of all, have the courage to reveal the self and become fearless. So again, a point of checking. To what extent am I fearless in things, little things? And to what extent do I have the courage to reveal the Father? Right? How much authority do I feel I have within me? That's a personal checking. Baba says, become unshakable and immovable with one faith and one support. And this experience of yours will enable others to have faith in their intellects. No matter how much the boat of someone who has faith in the intellect is rocked, nothing will affect that soul. Nishchay buddhi ke aage, they say, right? कोई तूफान या कोई आंधी उसकी नाव को हिला नहीं सकती, right? So Baba says this much should be your faith. He's meeting the next group. Supersensuous joy is the alaukic and imperishable swing. Do you constantly swing in the elevated attainment of the confluence age, which is the supersensuous joy? This joy is the greatest alaukic, imperishable swing. Special, beloved children are constantly rocked in a swing, just as Krishna is rocked in a swing because he is loved so much by everyone. The swing of confluence-aged Brahmins is the swing of super sensuous joy. Do you constantly swing in this swing? Anytime you become body conscious, it means you get off the swing and put your feet on the ground. When your feet touches the ground, they become dirty. When your feet touch the ground, they become dirty. However, the feet of the children who belong to the highest on high Father should always be clean and never dirty. So, constantly swing in this super sensuous joy. I was meeting the next group. Do all of you constantly consider yourselves to be souls who are always close to the Father? What are the signs of souls who are constantly close to the Father? The closer they are to the Father, accordingly, they will be equal to the Father. What special dharana do you need in order to become equal and close souls? See, बाप के समीप है, उसकी निशानी यही है कि बाप समान है. Right? But then Baba is asking, what special dharana do you need in order to become equal and close souls? Remain constantly engaged in remembrance and service. The two subjects Baba is underlining, remembrance and service. If you are constantly following the Father in remembrance and service, you can then claim number one. Brahma Baba claimed the number one status by imbibing this. So, follow the Father and enter into the number one division. The Brahma soul claimed number one, but all of you can also come with him in the first division. That is, you can be with him in the kingdom. The more you become a light and might house, the further Maya will stay away from you. The darkness of Maya cannot come in front of a lighthouse. Acha, we will take the Yad Pyar from Baba. To those who always have their husband, that is companion, to those who constantly have a right to the most elevated fortune, to those who constantly fulfill the responsibility of their companionship, to those who constantly have the tilak of awareness, to the elevated souls who follow all the highest codes of conduct, to the world benefactor souls, Bap Dada's love, remembrance, and namaste. From us children to our beloved Bap Dada, love-filled remembrance and namaste. For a minute, let us experience this super sensuous joy which Baba mentioned, and let us sit in the swing. Okay. And let's experience ourselves to be very close to Baba. And then we shall share points from the Murli. Om Shanti. Om Shanti. We can now unmute and share the points from the Murli. Anyone would like to share?
Shanti.
Om Shanti Prabhu.
So I like one point that Baba said while meeting the daddies there in no matter how many invoke Baba, right? So they all experiences companionship, right? One Supreme Soul is able to celebrate meeting with everyone. Everyone equally experience Baba. Baba is one, but yet everybody have the feeling that Baba is belong to them, and everybody is individually able to experience him, right? Though according to their pursha and effort, right? Number wise is there, but yet the uniqueness that Baba has is that Baba gives that experience to everyone, at the same time. Bahurubi, apart in a way. Om Shanti. Thank you. I like that.
Shanti. Yes. Anyone else would like to share?
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
It's really such a deep Murli, and unfortunately, we couldn't share the first part of the Murli, which was a deep Murli where Baba speaks about two things. He speaks about one is the tilak, and of course, which is just an awareness. And then he also speaks about the bangles. I could only share yesterday as to, this is one relationship which really it is too difficult, I feel, honestly, as a BK, to experience with God, what we call it as a companionship. I love Shiv Shakti. I love that combination of the masculine and the feminine energy in a soul, and then that gives strength. Shiv Shakti as a concept is fine. But when it comes to when Baba asks, especially now you started the Murli where he's asking the Dadis about companions. And these companions were called the queens. So when that question comes, I know he's the world's universal lover. No one can love as he is. But to experience that relationship, tell me to experience as a father, as a friend. I can beautifully go through, miles of visualization. But somewhere down the lane, I often found this, as I shared yesterday, this relationship, that kind of a love, which I always, yesterday, as I said, there were two people who idolated themselves to be God's lovers. One was Meera, and we know her story. But even in South Indian, there is a person called as Andal, who got married literally to Narayan. And it's such a big concept of being in love with God, and God comes down to marry you. That love I have read, but I never thought that to be a natural thing to love and get to. And I used to ask questions. How can Narayan, who's already married to Lakshmi, come down and marry Anda? So, taking even historically, I have often taken God to be a father. I have never, because Baba is saying only when you have all these relationships. It's something very, he is my companion, he is my Sati, as Dadi Janki says. Sati is something else. Like you gave, Baba has given the example about Radhe and the gopis. See, it's such a deep research. If you see who was Radhe, who was Rukmini, who was Satyabhama, what was Krishna's love in each, and why is Radhe's example given? Why is not Rukmini's example given? Because Radhe was already the consort of some other Gopa. So, but still, for unconditional love, unconditional holding, Baba gives an example. Today, even he has given about Radhe as the best gopis. So I wanted really to go deep into it, but honestly speaking, this relationship, when you were speaking, it couldn't. But you gave us a homework that how to experience it in thought, in word, in deed, in relationship and connections. I think that would be a nice thing for me to take over, because the other one, honestly speaking, is I'm not still full with it. This is just my honest sharing. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Baba is here to give us the love in all the relationships, right? Like you mentioned. So maybe gradually, maybe with a few actions, maybe in the thoughts, we can try at least imbibing or connecting with him in such a way that he is my companion. Say if someone is in love, you always have that thought of, what should I cook for that person, or what will that person like to have? Like just a few examples, just these little deeds that we do. Maybe that will also somehow keep us close to him, and then he himself will become responsible of giving us this experience of having this particular relationship with him. Right? That's what I feel. If we kind of involve him in all our deeds, in all our tasks, and not request maybe, but if we play the similar role, then maybe we can gradually experience this relationship as well. I mean, if others can also add on to this, if anyone likes to, please go ahead. So any other point or any other thing? Would anyone like to share? Would anyone like to add?
Okay, sister, you mentioned one thing. Like when you're in love, you see love everywhere. You see love in souls. So maybe, see, still I'm telling you, I'm not giving you, tell me anything as a father, tell me anything as a friend. I'll go and sit on his shoulders. The world of mine of experience I can give. But because you were saying thoughts, maybe I can experience in my thought to have only lovely thoughts because I'm in love with the greatest one. And when I speak, my words, it could be sweet words. My actions also could be good actions. And my relationships with people, there won't be any conflict in relationships. Even the relationships, as Baba says, will be good. And my connections also, as I have created a good, maybe I see swans everywhere. Maybe I think I can have that. This is what even Dadi Janki gives an experience in that book, Companion of God. But I could never get that feeling, I don't know how to share with you, that feeling of that relationship. But yes, being in love with one, I can bring about those experiences in my thought, word, deed relationship.
Okay. Yes, that is also nice. Let us take one step with this, right? And then let Baba decide. Let Baba give us the experience that, yeah, this is a particular relationship. Okay, so would anyone like to add on to anything? Would like to share any other point? Please go ahead.
Oh, Om Shanti, sister. Just now,
Shanti.
just shared about Andal and Narayan. Similar to that, even in Karnataka, 12th century. So there was a story goes like this. So Akka Mahadevi, her name, she is a great devotee of Lord Shiva that time. So her name was Akka Mahadevi, in the sense her name was Mahadevi, that's it. But she was, since her childhood, she became a devotee of Lord Shiva. She herself, she married mentally Lord Shiva. So later, the king of that place is called as that's in Karnataka near Hubli. Today we can see that in Hubli there is a big museum and all about Baba and all. The service is going very well actually. All are devotees. There also that community is called as Lingayat. Lingayat means the Jyotirlinga. They are the worshippers of Lingayat. Akka Mahadevi was married to a local king, the one who was, because of her spirituality, her face, her character, her behavior, so he was greatly influenced by that girl, and by forcibly he married to her. But this girl, she was completely devotee and worshipper of Lord Shiva, always sitting in front of Jyotirling, worshipping and all. So when she forcefully she married to a Kaushik was the name of the king, she said, you shouldn't touch me, okay, because I'm the devotee of Lord Shiva. So in that way the story goes. So finally, when he forcibly was about to touch her, immediately she praises the Lord, and full of her body was grown with the hair. That the reason we can see the pictures. If you Google it, you will come to know. So her body is completely covered with the hair. So after that, she was started staying in the all matas, all in that ashrams, and she was preaching about the Lord Shiva. She says in her vachanas will call, in her preaching, she says, God is, Lord Shiva is my companion, Lord Shiva is my husband. So he's a formless and he's a very strong. And actually, he praises what Baba gave us about his form and his time and all. The same thing she narrates in her vachanas. So she became Akka Mahadevi. Her name became from Mahadevi to Akka. Akka means the oldest sister. So in the same way, how we are sisters, means we are PKs, will declare to the world as if we are sisters to the worldly brothers. In the same way, she declared herself in the 12th century, she was Akka. Means nobody should see her in the bad manner. In that way, she became oldest sister to everyone. So that's what the story, that story influenced me a lot in my life when I was in second standard or third standard. So automatically, I don't know, I started thinking about, I was comparing myself about Akka Mahadevi. So even today in my life, Baba has become a great companion. That relationship plays a very vital role in my life. In that way, Lord Shiva has become a companion in my life, always, always. Thank you, Om Shanti.
Yes, yes, very nice, wonderful. Anyone else would like to add on to anything, any experience or any thing that you've experienced, being in companionship with a father, with the friend? Anything else would like to add?
Maybe there are two ways in which I connect with Baba. I'll say that they've been medium. One is experiencing relationship with Baba, different relationships at different point in time, especially the relationship of a friend and a companion. I remember at times when there was something which was bothering me a lot, especially when somebody had, in my experience, was insulting in those days. And I happened to go back and tell Baba, how can you even see this happening with your companion? If you tell me that you are my Jeevan Sati, how can you even have this happen? And so I wouldn't say the results out of it, but I only can experience that oneness of sharing had been easy while I experienced these different relationships with the Almighty. There is no fear to what's going to be happening when I express myself, and there is complete freedom while experiencing this relationship with Baba. Had been my experience, especially by calling Baba as my friend and my companion. These two relationships are very near to me.
Yes, wonderful. Okay. Anything else? Maybe we can take this as a homework today, that being...
Deepika Ben?
Yes, sister.
Just one thing, the other sister, I don't know, the sister who shared, I like that one concept. She said, Nobody else will dare look at me. Like she gave that example of how that soul changed herself and somebody had an evil eye on her. I think this is what scriptures and knowledge does to us. So when I'm in love with Baba, if I forge a relationship of companionship, no soul will dare to have an evil eye on me. That number one vice can never enter any soul. I think that's one thing I take the benefit if suppose I forge such a kind of relationship with the Lord. As she gave an example, that was what touched me. When I am in companion, no evil soul will dare to cast an evil eye on me because I am wearing his kavach, I have put his tilak, and I am wearing his bangle. I think I loved the way she shared. And I thought maybe I could take it like this. Om Shanti.
Yes, it was indeed quite powerful because these scriptures also remind us, right, that how in the past or how souls have dealt with this, and that one swaman or the point of self-esteem, you call it, or maybe as sister shared, that one thought changed everything. It gives you a lot of power in the inside, right? It empowers you. So yes, wonderful. Okay, then shall we move towards the meditation, Raki sister?
Yes, sister.
Okay. Om Shanti. Let's sit back for a minute in silence. I, the soul, I belong to the One. I experience a relationship of oneness, of companionship, of a true friend with the Almighty. I, the soul, I look at myself being merged in the ocean of love, being connected to the One, the ultimate, the supreme, the highest. I experience myself being very close to the purest, taking this for today. I, the soul, I will experience this companionship, the feeling of being one, the feeling of being combined, the feeling of being together, and the feeling of being always connected. I will experience this throughout the day today. His company and his companionship. I will move forward with him today. Thank you, Baba. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you to Baba. Thank you, Deepika Ben. Thank you, Divine Family. See you tomorrow at 5 a.m. Till that time, have a great day.